To discuss all this, let's bring in Venu Varghese. He's a former prosecutor and practicing defense attorney. And Venu, good to have you here. Fair to say there's now bipartisan agreement that the Clinton crime bill that passed, some 20-some years ago with Republican support, which was extremely tough on nonviolent drug offenders, was a mistake.
Yes, and right off the bat, the first thing I want to say is there's nothing that brings Republicans, Democrats together than drugs, right? So they're able to agree. I mean, it was amazing. This hasn't happened before, but you got to understand the backdrop to this. This really started in '84. In '84, there was bipartisan support to create the federal sentencing guidelines, which made it mandatory across the board. Judges had no discretion. It was the United States Supreme Court that changed that and gave judges discretion again to a certain extent in 2005. So now finally Congress has caught up in allowing judges to give discretion, particularly in drug offenses. And this was a coalition of various groups that have been working together for years. The American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, the Koch brothers, various conservative things, all agreeing to work together on this. And it was only people like Jeff Sessions and Mitch McConnell who were holding out because they believe in the prison industrial complex.
And then you have people like Kim Kardashian, West, I should say, and Kanye West and Jared Kushner, an unlikely group of people pushing for this bipartisan motion. How surprising is that?
Well, they were there to help President Trump make prisons great again. You know, so that's what that's what part of this is. Look, you know, it's nice to have celebrity support, and they did come forward on some of these. They actually highlighted Kim Kardashian and Kanye West to some extent. Some of the really awful cases of people that have spent decades in prison for nonviolent crimes. Yes, they sold drugs, but again, history is going to come back and judge this country very sharply. You know, when they look back at all this money spent on and all the people put into jail over the last 30 years.
And by all accounts, there were also racial disparities in terms of the sentencing and who was getting jail time and who was not for the same drug offense.
Correct. So if you sold crack, you were punished greater than if you sold cocaine, and that disproportionately affected people in American black communities. And the sale, most of the people in federal prison are black Americans, African Americans, and you know this measure actually will not help about 6,000 people. There's over 180,000 people incarcerated. America is a great prison society, over 2 million people in prison, more than any other country in the world.
So this bill is only affecting the federal justice system, which means not the local and the state justice system, but do you think it will eventually trickle down to the state justice?
A lot of states have made inroads on this already in trying to reduce, even New York, which had some of the most draconian laws called the Rockefeller drug laws, actually about 10 years ago had some changes into this effect. So the federal system was slow to, it's actually getting caught up with a number of states here.
Politically, it used to be the death knell if you were seen as soft on crime, which is why so many Democrats supported, along with Republicans and Bill Clinton, the crime bill they passed many years ago. What happened in terms of politics that changed that?
Economics. I think people realize you got to be smart on crime. And what are you doing? Most people are going to get out. So the question is, what are they going to do when they get out? Are they going to commit more crimes, or is there going to be a safety net for these people when they come out? And some of these amendments they tried to pass in the last couple of days or the last hours were basically trying to keep people from getting the opportunities to get education. And unfortunately, they did not pass. So is this a perfect bill? No, but it's absolutely a step in the right direction, and you have to give President Trump credit here.
Plus, it reopens the debate over what's the goal of the prison system in our society.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a question of, look, the people, Jeff Sessions, Mitch McConnell, they believe in punishment. Lock, throw away the keys. Jeff Sessions was one who was actually blocking this. He lobbied very strongly against this. Jeff Grassley, the Republican senator, told him, "Why don't you go back to Alabama?" And you know, maybe because this isn't your game. As when he was Attorney General, he was verbally opposing this, and Grassley told him, rebuked him publicly, and said, We're in Senate. If you want to go back and make a change, go back and run for Congress again.
Venu Varghese, former prosecutor, also an acting defense attorney. Venu, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.